Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're keeping well. Unfortunately, Tottenham have lost 2-1 to Fulham at Craven Cottage. Another defeat there. It's been a miserable time for Tottenham going to Craven Cottage in recent years, but it's 2 defeats in a row for Igor Tudor. Only Tottenham, I think, could have a new manager and not have a new manager bounce. Stay tuned to the end. We'll be cracking through quite a lot. Frustrating overall. I think let's get into it. We're talking about Fulham's first goal. Nicely worked. Harry Wilson was the one who got the goal. Him and there's playing a big part. And we can focus on officials as much as we like, but it's not going to change the fact that our problems lie deeper than those officials. Is it slightly harsh that we see, Gabriel decision that goes against us, and then we see this that goes against us? Of course it is. I personally felt the difference was two hands in the back with one on Gabriel. Was it just one hand? I know it's very similar. False and Gabriel made the most of it in this case as well. It's incredibly frustrating. I completely understand that. But away from whatever you think about the decision and officiating in general, we've got bigger problems. Like Dragson, rather, sorry, has got to do so much better defensively. So much better. Honestly, it's poor, it's weak defending. That's my honest opinion on that. I'd say first goal's down to poor defending largely. Unlucky slightly? Maybe. But fair play. Fulham take the lead. They start well. Second goal from Iwobi is class. Fair play to him. What a goal that was. But again, I'm not saying he should save it because it's an amazing shot. But Vicario's positioning takes a step to the wrong side. His positioning is an issue once again. And talking of Vicario, I don't like to single out individuals. His distribution for me, which isn't great anyway, reached one of the all-time low, I think, today. That's how it felt. I mean, 3 or 4 times straight out of play. I don't like to put pressure on someone, but I think we need to do a lot better in the summer. But again, I talk about more problems to worry about. We're facing the reality right now, and I think that we're in a deep, full relegation battle. I think before it was just concerns that we could get dragged into it. Now we're in it, and I'm really confident of that. And Thursday against Palace is absolutely huge because we lose that, let's just say, 3 defeats in a row, under Igor Tudor, and they've got an international break of the club view him as the wrong choice. I think there's a small possibility, especially if we lose badly to Palace being at home as well. He goes, they bring in someone like Harry Redknapp. I wouldn't discount that. Doing a Forest and going for another manager. But for Tudor, I mean, he's got to do better. For me, the problems lie deeper. I said it with Frank, and I was back to him. You guys will know if you listened to my videos before. I hope you did. Listened. You'd know that I was behind Frank for a long while because the manager's not the main problem. Frank's not the main problem. Tudor's now not the main problem. Conte wasn't the main problem. Mourinho wasn't the main problem. It goes back and back and back and back and back. But we'll say Tudor feels very like the Christian Stellini interim appointment, and that was unsuccessful. After a few games, he's very unsuccessful that short period, and I'm worried. I'm worried. And I look at today, and I think that's the wrong lineup. I think it's the wrong system. And you put in square pegs and round holes, players out of position. There's no way on earth that Gallagher should be the right winger or right midfielder, whatever you want to call it. That Gray should be the opposite side, and Porro centre back, and Simmons hung up to dry on the left. I mentioned 4 or 5 players there. All of them were out of position. Then he's starting Basuma, he's not starting Tell, really. I mean, just some things are concerning and he had more available in this game. Again, that bench isn't like full of world-class quality players, but more recognised first-team players on there. So yeah, for me, incredibly disappointing. I think he got it all wrong. And he's got to accept that this idea of his perfect system and formation doesn't suit this group of players. And if it's going to, you're going to have to play players in the right position. It's not a lot asking Gray to play midfield. It's not a lot asking Gallagher to play midfield. I know we've got no wingers, so they're going to have to improvise. Play without wingers. I would play a 3-4-2-1. You don't need any wingers in that system. Inside forwards, Tell Simmons, whoever it may be. Solanke, I thought, looked lost today, by the way. Kylan wanted a little bit more about him. But I've spoken about a lot of negatives. I've spoken about Tudor's system, his formation. I've spoken about Kari at first goal, having a moment at Dragasim. Second goal was amazing, but the positives was the goal that we got. And what I've concluded is that Tell and Richarlison have to start against Palace. They have to start. They both come on and made an instant impact. Sarr as well, fair play to him, but in particular, Tell and Richarlison. Tell creates that chance. That's all down to him. He come on with energy, and I think his impact he can have is often underestimated and frowned upon by the Spurs fan base. Sometimes he has come on and looked poor. Yes, I know. But most of the time he comes on and looks good. Richarlison, what a goal. I mean, he's best striker on form for us. I know he's just come back from injury, but his record this season's been really good. And whatever you think of him in particular, whatever you think of Richarlison, you can say the same about Tell, but let's focus on Richarlison for a minute. He fights, he gives 110%. And I question in particular that first half, where's the integrity? Where's the fight? Where's the passion? I think everybody forgets to dare is to do. And I'm just thinking, let the shackles off, Tudor. Have a go. Be brave. And it feels like we're defending the indefensible. I believe we're the worst side. I do in the Premier League. I think Wolves and Burnley show fight, and Wolves show quality against Villa as well. But Wolves and Burnley shown fight in 2026. Tottenham showed nothing. We're the sinking ships, like the Titanic, the inevitable. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen unless we address it. Sitting here now, I can tell you that I'm worried about relegation. But me being positive, thinks we'll finish 17th and stay up on goal difference. But I think it's going to go right down to the wire. And that is concerning that it's even got to this situation. I'm angry about it. And the fans are too. The fans were with the players in particular first half, but all throughout the game against Fulham. We can't keep saying, oh, yeah, we need the fan support. Of course, every game's a final from now to the end. Of course, the fans need to be behind the manager and the players. But we need something to feed off. And it was the same under Frank. It's the same now. What are fans getting behind? That's the question. I don't pinpoint it all on Tudor, but again, it tells me all you need to know that he was focusing just on the officials after the game, just on the officials. Didn't want to speak about the performance. Oh, we just talked about wider problems. We know about his wider problems, mate. Why don't you do your job, pick the right formation and system, and utilize players to their strength? Because what's the point of a youth academy? The point of a youth academy is there if you need it, and it's also for the future. And if we put in square pegs in round holes, I'd rather play Byfield, whoever it may be, anybody than players out of position. And we brought Gallagher in, right? No disrespect to him. So I thought the signing was just okay at the time. But we brought in someone hung out to dry on right midfield today, right wing, paid 200 grand a week. I mean, that's not the January window anybody should aspire to. Tom had the worst window, you judged by that. We knew he thought it was a good idea to invest that money we got from Johnson, who I thought was the right thing to do, but that's a whole separate thing. But we thought it was a good idea to reinvest that money in Conor Gallagher. We've got a like-minded Gallagher player in the likes of Sarr. Gallagher brings nothing to the table that we didn't already have. It's like going for a feast. You've got food on the table. Bringing Gallagher to that table, you add nothing. It's just you add food that you've already got. Maybe we've got doner kebab on the table. You're adding another doner kebab. You don't need that. Where you've got no other kebabs. You're missing. Load of section missing on the table. Kebabs, burgers, pizzas, all missing. In Spurs' eyes, players missing. Pieces of the jigsaw missing. So we signed completely the wrong player, and even worse, playing him in the wrong position. I mean, I'd much rather Sousa, for example, start at left wing back. I love Gray, but not out of position. He deserves a lot of credit for playing a lot of different positions. So lots of negatives, but the positives are Tell and Richarlison look good. They have to start the next game. Palace is key. I'm not confident at this moment in time, but they are going to be about Maxes Lacroix, who got sent off against United. That is massive. Tottenham have to get the acting gear. Saving grace for us is that Forest and West Ham lost, but we shouldn't be having to get to that point to rely on others. Sad times for Tottenham. We're a sinking ship. Hopefully the ship can just about stay afloat. For now, come on you Spurs.